Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
The last time I worked a job for someone else was back in 2019, last year, at the time of this recording. Earlier last year, I worked one of the best jobs I could say that I had ever had. It paid me well, and I didn't have to do much work at all. It wasn't very demanding. In fact, the job was me as a DJ for a kids' dance company that had competitions all over the US. They would fly us out to different states. The flight was free of charge. The food was free of charge. The hotels were free of charge. I didn't have to take out my wallet one time during each weekend where they flew us out for these competitions. Literally all I had to do was show up, get on the plane, go to the destination, break down the equipment setup, do what I needed to do, then put everything up, lock everything away, and fly back. And I got paid for the entire experience. Now, I went to many different hotels in many different states and did this job, and I felt really good about this. But I still wasn't satisfied. I still wasn't fulfilled because I had a boss. I had somebody over me. I had somebody telling me what to do. I had somebody who could determine whether or not I could take leave, whether or not I could use the restroom, whether or not I could visit my family. And I didn't like that. And then one day, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was sitting in a library parking lot. And I was thinking, why can't I just retire? Why can't I just do whatever I want to do? Why can't I just hike whenever I want to go hiking? Why can't I just? And a thought just entered my mind. And it was as if it was challenging my own thought of why can't I? And it said precisely that. Well, why can't it? What's stopping you from living your best life now? What's stopping you from retiring now? What's stopping you from quitting this job right now? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for more money? Are you trying to save? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your goal? And I had to ask myself that question. Because if my goal was to get more money to eventually quit, what was the point? What was the point of it all? Of living a less fulfilled life just to accomplish something later on that might not even happen if I just stayed in that unfulfilling position. So right then and there, I decided that even though my job was a cushy job that felt good, easy to do, and made a lot of money, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it to stay somewhere that I didn't want to be in, to stay in a position just for money. My time was more valuable. And when I deemed my time more valuable, when I put more value on my time, others did as well. When I gave myself more self-respect, others did as well. And what I learned from books like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that the rich and wealthy don't work for money. They realize that, especially here in the US, they're printing the money. A long time ago, they took the US dollar off the golden standard, which basically made this paper pretty much worthless when it comes to racking up money and working for money. I realized that a poor mindset that I had been living was that I had valued my money more than my time, while the rich valued their time more than money. I was fighting a losing battle that I didn't even know I was losing. So right then and there, I decided that there was no job worth my time. And when I quit that job, I vowed to become an entrepreneur and to never work under anyone else again. I vowed that even if I was on the street, even if I was homeless, it still would not be worth it to work for someone else. I would find a way. I would be innovative. I would find ingenuity. I would find creativity. Through my desperation, I would find inspiration. And through my perspiration, I would gain victory. So that is what I decided to do back in 2019. And ever since then, I have not worked for another person. I've decided that I am much more fulfilled doing things like this, giving a kind word or a positive message, encouraging someone like you, yes, you who are listening, my friend. And it has been so worthwhile to have people write in and call in and let me know that they appreciate these messages. Because I could have just waited. I could have just given it all up for the average. But I decided to sacrifice. They say that if you do not sacrifice for your dream, then your dream becomes your sacrifice. Ask yourself, if you were in the same position that I was what is it all worth? Is it really worth your time, your experiences with your loved ones? Or will you find a way? Start to trust yourself again, become your friend again. Believe in you. Where there's a will, there's a way. I learned that from a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Where there is determination, a way can always be found. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know that there's nothing against employees or people who work for companies or other people, but understand that if you do not go for your dream, you may find yourself falling into the dream of someone else. And they don't have much planned for you that you could plan for yourself. You may be born for greatness, but you are not destined for it. Only you can decide your own destiny. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel compelled to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support button is much appreciated. Big shout out and thank you to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate and contribute to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Much love to you. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, take care.